Authenticity isn't a nice to have in leadership. It's a non-negotiable. In a world full of facades, only your truth is the boldest move you can make. Welcome to the Danny V Show, the podcast for high-performing business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs ready to lead with elegance, courage, and radical responsibility. I'm Danny V, and I'm here to help you strip away the fluff and step fully into your power at the boardroom and in business. In each episode, we'll share no-nonsense insights and real conversations on what it takes to show up authentically, make tough decisions with grace, and create impact at the highest levels. So if you're ready to own your voice and lead on your terms, you're in the right place. So let's dive in. Welcome back to the Danny V Show. You are listening into episode 3, where we will be talking about when you can finally belong to yourself. But let's recap on episode 2. So if you haven't listened to episode 2 yet, what we really were looking at is how you can really step into your executive presence and what that looks like. So executive presence is the energy that you bring into a room. It's the way that you show up, and it's the way that you feel within yourself and what comes out to everybody else around you. It's the way you think about yourself, and that is projected on everybody else. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, I do invite you to go back and listen to episode 2. However, today, when you finally belong to yourself, is what we're speaking about. And so I'm sure you have once felt that, you know, if you're really honest with yourself and you really look back, or even right now you're feeling that this sneaky feeling comes in, this quiet voice in your head is telling you that you don't really belong here. You feel like somebody's going to find out you're faking it. And this little voice in your head is your imposter syndrome. It's that mean girl that tells you, hey, that person over there, she's better than you. You're never going to make that. And then you go into that complete comparison scroll on social media, or you go and try and find more and more evidence of how you don't belong there. So today I'd love to chat about how I've overcome imposter syndrome and how my clients continue to step into their power and overcome imposter syndrome just the same. And it really doesn't matter how much you achieve, how many people you help, or how well you perform on the outside, on that external view from everybody else. If you have this so deeply anchored within your inner authority, that voice of doubt is always going to be there. So this is your chance to actually own who you are and step into that inner authority. So I guess you're thinking, what does even inner authority mean, Danny? Like, what are you talking about? There's 3 pillars to this inner authority that I'm so deeply passionate about, and that is self-acceptance, self-respect, and self-love. Now, within these pillars, starting with a self-acceptance is really the key. Once you accept yourself and really understand for who you are, where you are right now, it's so much easier to step into those other 2 pillars. So what I mean by that is understanding that you are where you are right now for a reason. And the way that you can step out of, to that next part of your goal is to accept where you are and embrace that and celebrate. Once you truly accept where you are right now and accept the beautiful woman that you are right now, it's so much easier to respect her as well. And let me share with you from someone that's truly found it difficult to respect herself in the past, is that when you respect yourself, that's when others will respect you too. So when you're waiting for that outside acceptance and waiting for that outside respect, it's actually what you need to find within yourself before anybody else really even knows how to do it. Because if you don't know how does anybody else? And of course, when you're accepting and respecting yourself, that love is deep within. You're really holding that inner authority, and you know that you are where you are right now for a reason. And then that amazing woman that you're looking up to is also where she is, where she needs to be right now as well for a reason. And you can get there in the time that it takes for you to be ready for it. So I'd like to bring some words from the beautiful Maya Angelou. And this is really explaining where you are free. And she said, you only are free when you realize you belong in no place. You belong in every place and no place at all. The price is high and the reward is great. So my interpretation of that is exactly what I was just speaking about with that self-acceptance. You belong in no place. So that external place, that does not exist. But you also belong in every place because you belong within yourself. And then you really belong no place at all because, again, turning back to that external place, what even is that? The price is high, knowing and understanding the grip that external validation that causes the imposter syndrome causes. The price is high. However, when you do step into that inner authority, that self-acceptance, that self-respect, and that self-love, the reward is so great. So belonging doesn't come from being accepted by others. It comes from being accepted by self. To respect your own voice and own that voice and let it shine bright. To stop shrinking to make others feel better about themselves. Stop shrinking and hiding your voice so others respect you, or however you think that might be. So I'm really challenging you. Can you edit yourself to stop fitting in? To know deeply that you are the authority of your own worth, that you are worthy right now, to belong to yourself instead of trying to belong to everybody else. This is where the imposter syndrome really loses its grip. And you can really start standing into that power and that authority and that leader that you were born to be. You don't need to prove anything. You just simply show up. And that kind of leadership is just so truly magnetic. So I do have a reflection that I'd like you to journal out or just sit and think about after this podcast today. And I'd like you to ask yourself, where are you still waiting for permission to feel worthy? And I really love these questions when I work with my clients because it really starts opening up that unconscious mind and starts really having the reticular activating system working. So that's in the prefrontal cortex of your brain. And the reticular activating system is where manifestation begins. So, if you want to buy a red Ferrari, you start seeing red Ferraris everywhere you go. So if you start realizing where you're still waiting for permission to feel worthy, that's when we can start stepping into a feedback loop as well. And if you'd like to know about what that looks like, please send me a DM. I'd love to send you through that process. And it's really simple. But it's really just capturing that moment of when you are waiting for permission to feel worthy and shifting that thought so then you can shift the reticular activating system, the RAS, to start seeing where you are worthy, where you do belong, where you are absolutely in your inner authority. So many really easy steps there, but they are so great in the transformation of the next step of stepping away from that imposter syndrome. So when you're not alone in this, it really supports you in stepping forward into creating change and transformation. I'd really love to invite you into my Elevate Her membership. And this is where women come together to learn about business and learn about who they truly are so that they can show up who they are without any apology, to really step out in that inner authority and own who they are within whatever they are wanting to represent to the world. If that's something of interest to you, please just check out the show notes and we would love to have you join us in the Elevate Her membership. It's a membership for you if you are ready to start being taken seriously, start showing up in your authentic voice. So I leave you today with knowing it's time to rise. It's time to lead. And let's belong, first and foremost, with ourselves. It's been such a wonderful time to be sharing with you on how you can start stepping out of the imposter syndrome and start stepping into your inner authority. And I cannot wait to hear how you start making these changes and shifts. And I would love for you to share with me as well. So you've been listening to the Danny V Show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here to share with you on how you can expand and grow into the leader within. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me on the Danny V Show today. I hope you're leaving this episode feeling inspired and empowered. My goal is always to bring you elegant insights with a bold impact. If you enjoyed our conversation, I invite you to subscribe to the show and leave a quick review. Your feedback not only means the world to me, but it also helps other growth-minded leaders find this community. Remember, leadership is an inside-out journey. The poise, the passion, and the purpose we cultivate within ourselves are what transform the world around us. So until next time, stay true to your vision and keep leading with the unique mix of grace and strength. Stay radiant, stay resilient, and I'll be right here cheering you on. I can't wait to hang out with you again on the next episode of The Danny V Show.